Welcome to Leadership In. This is our open exchange episode. I'm Greg McDonald.
I'm Geoff Wallenitz, and we're here to just have an open conversation about what's hot on the top of our minds in the industry. What are you doing this weekend, July 4th?
I am going on a fancy booze cruise to watch the fireworks from the harbor for the 4th of July.
Oh, wow. Okay. I hope the weather holds out for you.
Me too. I'm looking forward to the fireworks, and they're on the Hudson this year, which is kind of fun too.
That's always better. It's always harder to get to the other side.
What about you?
I'm going to the Hamptons, actually, which I don't typically do, but I got an invitation to join some friends at their house in the Hamptons. So I'm heading out there, and I'll be back Sunday night, which is kind of neat.
It's very nice. All right. So today we were going to talk about Walmart and Vibe. That just happened right ahead of Cannes. And I think a little bit, some of the punditry is still going on, but we have thoughts on this. And we had TV Scientific on here last season. And so whole trend of performance CTV. So how have you been thinking about this?
It has a bunch of different tentacles, right? I think one tentacle is what larger corporation is acquiring a performance CTV piece of technology in order to augment their offering and get to advertisers that are down funnel, right? Or let's just say more performance based, right? As opposed to brand based from an outcomes perspective. I think some of this is, how does this piece fit into my larger stack, right? So if you have Walmart buying Vibe, does this mean Target is going to go out and acquire Mountain? For instance, Target to this point really is focused on the data piece and then allowing that to power their advertising on and off their owned and operated inventory, right, through Roundel. So that's where they've focused in the past. But is it time for them to acquire technology that augments that and allows them to use their data in a little bit of a different way, a little bit of a different offering for a completely different market? When I look at Walmart, I think it's two things. One, they've assembled now that end-to-end tech stack. They acquired Vizio as a TV operating system that has all kinds of viewing data and has supply and inventory. They have Walmart Connect that's all about deterministic shopper and purchase data. Now they have Vibe that they can slot in that's actually just a self-service buying platform fit for purpose for the business that they've built prior to that. And now they can do closed loop measurement and they can do attribution. And that's really similar to what Amazon's basically been building in-house, let's say, over the last few years. And I think their tech stack and what they're putting together really is the envy of commerce media at this point. And I think more than anything, it's about them actually unlocking and courting a new class of advertisers. CTV, Walmart, they're going to get Fortune 500 advertisers no matter what. So if the opportunity is for them to go get everyone else below that, I think what they're thinking, if I had to ask, like, why would they buy this? What they're thinking is, I'm able to spend $500 a day on Meta. Why wouldn't I want to spend $500 a day on streaming TV?
Not to trivialize what it takes to build a retail media network, but like they've got that. They've got the pieces. They think about that a lot and they're very strong at execution. That is in their DNA in every part of their business. But building that mid-market marketplace is hugely valuable. It's a huge opportunity. Lots of companies try. Very few have succeeded at it and very few are good at it. Walmart is fundamentally chasing the scale and the depth and the breadth that you see on a Google or a Meta, because that just makes your marketplace much more resilient, makes it much more robust. You're solving for edge cases in a way that makes the business more durable over time and more performance across the entire marketplace. And I think that's going to be really compelling for them.
I completely agree. And the other thing I'll say here is that Vizio as an acquisition didn't convince you that these guys were in a different competitive set than they used to be. And if Walmart Connect as an entity didn't convince you guys that these guys were in a different competitive set than they used to be, the acquisition of Vibe.co has to be convincing you that they're in a different competitive set. And their competitive set is no longer just retailers. You could probably make an argument that the other two just augmented their retail business. We're selling 1 million Vizio TVs a day anyway. Why wouldn't we just acquire the company and bring our cost down and our margin up?
Yeah.
We have all this shopper data anyway. Why wouldn't we just turn it into a commerce media buying tool, right? But now their competitive set is Amazon ads. It's Google, it's Meta, it's Pinterest. We talked about TV Scientific and having them on here and what they do. Pinterest acquired them. It's Roku just acquired by Fox. And it's the Trade Desk. And so all of those people have one thing in common. They're all trying to answer convincingly for their advertisers the very same question, which is, can I prove that someone saw an ad that ran through my platform and as a result, they bought something? And Walmart now is in a really good position to definitively say that, ideally, yes, right? But one way or the other.
Agreed. And one of the things that Walmart has that the others don't have either at all or nearly to the same extent is a local footprint. They are able to go into smaller markets and really target people in a local way that was not possible, I don't know, maybe since the Yellow Pages even. There's not very many players that can reach people and have a relationship, a deep relationship with people, certainly weekly, if not daily. That's going to be a really interesting angle to this as well, is how well they can execute against that local element of this as they build up their marketplace and their commerce media.
That's an incredible point. I mean, think about where all the Walmarts are, right? They are hyper local businesses. They are in places that don't have grocery stores within miles. There's a Walmart, right? So that lit up a thing in my head, what you just said around local, like the local advertisers, they'll be able to score without boots on the ground, right? For a long time, it was walk into the local dry cleaner and get them to spend $1,000 on cable TV. That's not what this is. Vibe is a self-serve buying platform that makes it really easy for any local buyer to go in and say, give me $500 of Vizio supply and let me know what that yielded for me so that I can do the optimization on my end too. Put me here instead of here, do this instead of that. Like I can do my own thinking, or I can outsource that to Vibe and to Walmart and they can try to drive the value. That's one. Two is, we talked about this before we got on, but this is exactly the ethos that was behind Universal Ads popping, right? Mm-hmm. Universal Ads is Comcast Advertising's thing that's akin to Vibe, which is how can I go in and buy local cable television through an easy platform if I'm a small or medium-sized business? And I think there's a lot to be said about the idea of keeping it simple, stupid, right? By the way, that's what Meta and Google have done in an extraordinarily elegant and easy way over the last 15 years. And I don't want to get over my skis here, but I think for the first time, this is an actual streaming TV performance answer to Meta, to Google, to whomever competes in that arena.
We've both lived through a lot of M&A. Vibe is a small company, but a large enough company with some scale. Walmart is a gargantuan company with already an established commerce media business. What do you think we see this year versus over, say, a 1 to 2 year horizon?
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear your answer on this also, but I think a lot of this is the bridge from CTV is growing, CTV is emerging, CTV is a brand platform to CTV is becoming a measurable, self-service, and commerce-driven entity, commerce-driven medium. And that, I think, is a really big deal. So to the extent that we see any more of this, and again, Mountain is out there, right? Other organizations like this that drive connected television, performance streaming inventory are out there for the taking. Who's going to be the next person to say, this is the right technology to fit a business that needs to be an end-to-end commerce media platform to take advantage of all of this data? The Roku Fox thing, I think, is kind of the inverse of this, right? Fox already had the data. They already have the viewing stuff. And they already have the inventory. Now they're buying the hardware, whereas Walmart had already bought the hardware. Now they're buying the platform.
Yeah. In terms of Walmart and Vibe, I don't know if we'll see anything this year, but within 12 months, I think we'll have a good sense of whether or not there's momentum at their back. It'll be a testament to, is the self-service platform really as robust as it needs to be to drive that adoption? And then this is still a hard market to get into. Small and medium business is huge, but it has to be self-serve. It has to be easy to use. It has to be easy to buy, and it has to show the ROI. But if they can do those things, it will really change the conversation.
I totally agree. Also, I like that can pun right there. We'll wink it can. But I think there's also a couple of other moving parts in the industry that may preclude massive M&A in media for a while, right? Like the Comcast and NBC Universal split, the Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount merger settling, and then whatever the resulting spinoffs of that looks like. I think those things on the media side will have to settle before those companies get into the mix. I think in the next year, we're probably going to see another acquisition or two in this vein.
All right. I think we should leave it there. So good chatting as always, and enjoy the Hamptons for the 4th.
Yeah, and I hope the weather holds out for you, man. That's going to be unbelievable.
Thanks. Leadership In is hosted and produced by Geoff Wallenetz and Greg McDonald. Special thanks to Jess DeWeese for production support. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow the show on your favorite podcast app, subscribe to our newsletter at leadershipinpodcast.com, and find us now on YouTube at Leadership In.